I'm going to talk a little bit about sandbag protection, using sandbags to build levees around structures you're trying to protect from high water. Before we get started, make sure you have the right supplies. We need sand, sandbags 16 by 30 to 32 inches, pointed shovel, plastic sheeting, and optional is plywood, stakes, and 2x4 wood lumber. Obviously, the most important thing for your protection is going to be the sandbag. A basic sandbag is 16 by 30 to 32 inches. The homeowner is going to have a lot of sandbags to choose from. They're going to be big bags like pinto bean bags or potato bags, but these can be very hard to fill and very large, making them harder to lift later. Most of these bags are made from poly. There are also burlap bags, which are better but more expensive. The plastic bag right here is your basic sandbag and the one you want to look for. We want to fill the sandbags only half to 3/4 full because we want to leave some room in the bag so when the bag is laid down it can settle in. This makes really nice solid protective barrier weighing about 50 pounds. It's important to have a pointed shovel instead of a square shovel so you can fit it in the bag. Point the shovel down into the sand and take about 3 or 4 shovelfuls to fill the bag half full, and about one more to get 2/3 full, and that's as full as you want for a bag. Wash clean sand is best for filling sandbags. You can buy it from sand and gravel companies. In fact, if you live along the Mississippi River, there are several beneficial use sites up and down the river where you can get free, high-quality sand. The rule of thumb for constructing a sandbag levee is 3 times as wide as is high. So for a 3-foot high sandbag levee, we'd like to see it be 9 feet wide. When laying the sandbags, you want to lay them parallel with the flow with the open end facing downstream. And then when you put the next row of sandbags on, you want to nestle that sandbag into the end of the previous sandbag. So you're staggering those, and you continue to do that all the way up to the top of your levee. That provides a really good seal for seepage. Next, place poly, which is plastic sheeting, over the levee. Do this by putting your first row of sandbags on the water side of the plastic in order to anchor it down, and then pull the poly up over the top. Seepage underneath the poly is going to occur, but it provides a solid barrier against the water and will reduce the seepage through the levee by 60 to 70%. Once the plastic is over the top, anchor it down so the wind doesn't blow it loose and ruin your efforts. Additionally, you're going to have to be pumping on the back side of the levee to manage seepage. The more you can keep the water out, the less pumps you'll need to control interior water from damaging the structures you're trying to protect. Another type of barrier is called a flashboard levee, which allows you to create a bigger barrier more quickly. This is created by placing stakes in the ground and attaching pieces of plywood, one on either side. The 2 pieces of plywood are parallel so you can fill the interior with sand. Additionally, you can construct a barrier with plywood behind a row of sandbags with 2x4 bracing behind it to keep it from sliding. If the water is pushing the bags back, this will help keep the bags from sliding, thus causing a failure. Another option is putting the plywood on the water side and using stacked sandbags against it as a ballast to reduce the amount of bracing required to make a functional barrier. Following these basic steps will ensure that your sandbagging efforts are successful in protecting your home and your community from flooding due to high water.